Tower getting a much-needed facelift. I have the details straight ahead.
Plus, the Life for Key Foundation is giving even more students an opportunity to reach their education goals. Corbell Pyfram has the story coming up.
The Minister of Agriculture and his friends donate veggies to kiddies at a primary school, so stay close for that.
And coming up in sports, the Junkanoo boys go to penalties against Panama in beach soccer. Find out who won.
Bahamas Tonight, access now. Starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, access now.
Well, the Atlantis Wine and Food Festival begins tonight. Marlena, our colleague Jasmine Saunders seems to be having quite the best life over there at the Atlantis Resort. Are you going?
Of course, I can't let Desmond have all the fun by himself, so I'm definitely going to be checking it out. I don't know who isn't.
I certainly plan to as well. In fact, to make sure we do, let's dive right into the news, shall we? Vendors at the Fort Charlotte have a few more days left to go before they have to relocate to make way for renovations of the historic water tower that's been inoperable and unattractive for decades now. I caught up with the director of the National Museum at the Antiquities, Monuments and Museums Corporation to find out about the scope of works expected to take shape. Standing at 126 feet, the historic water tower on Fort Fincastle will get the facelift it deserves after being closed for about 2 decades. Since then, the popular attraction has become an eyesore and a health risk for the 42 vendors who use the grounds below to sell their Bahamian-made souvenirs. But for safety reasons, those vendors will be relocated to Fort Charlotte to allow renovations set to begin next week.
We've worked with the stakeholders to ensure that that can be done in tents that have been provided for them. And so part of what we're doing is we're preparing for that process within the next few days. And so as of Monday, the 17th, the site will be secured by the contractor so that he can start his work on the outside. You see the scaffolding going up. Scaffolding is going to go all around the structure, and the site is going to be enclosed by a chain link fence so that safety can be secured for the site.
The $3 million tower's renovation project was awarded to Stephen Knowles Construction Company, but according to Antiquities, Monuments and Museums Director Don Cornish, the venture stalled for months due to a number of setbacks.
We started on the inside, obviously to ensure that we were able to minimize interruption of business at the site. Unfortunately, over that period, we've had a lot of challenges because there was not a clear understanding of what was expected from the vendors in terms of being able to relocate them to other portions of the site to facilitate the development.
We made attempts to speak to vendors while they were conducting a meeting on the fort's grounds to discuss the move, but the association's assistant president declined to comment. But according to Cornish, vendors are in agreement with the temporary change of the environment and are excited about the renovations being made to beautify the site.
The Life for Key Foundation is providing more students an opportunity to reach their educational goals. The foundation creating a new scholarship tailored to students interested in the building craft sector. Corbell Pyfram reports on how the foundation plans to work with local institutions to find our best and brightest.
Announcing what's being called a groundbreaking opportunity for students, Life for Key Foundation Chair Basil Galandris says the $2 million endowed Peter George Galandris Heritage Scholarship, named in honor of his late father, and will award up to 8 students this year the opportunity to study in the UK, has the potential to make a lasting impact on technical and vocational education right here at home.
In partnership with the King's Foundation, the new scholarship program will provide Bahamian students who have an interest in building crafts a unique opportunity.
Now into its 35th year, the King's Foundation, founded by then Prince Charles, according to its website, works globally to create sustainable communities and transform lives. As part of the 5-month course, students will travel to the building crafts training centers of the King's Foundation in the UK. They will be able to take part in a series of intensive skills and material workshops and study at several historic heritage sites. Kristen Murren is the foundation's chief executive.
Our head office is at Dumfries House, which is in Scotland. So you need to bring kilts and hear the bagpipes when you're there. We also manage the Castle of May, which is right at the north of the UK, which was the holiday residence of the Queen Mother. And finally, and probably most dear to my heart, His Majesty's personal home, Highgrove in Gloucestershire, where we manage the gardens and where some of our specialist education programs are delivered. The students will get to experience all of these sites.
Life at Key Foundations hope to recruit students who study at Bahamas Technical Vocational Institute and have an interest in using the skills they have developed to work on heritage building crafts.
The $30,000 scholarship covers airfare, a warm clothing allowance, housing, as well as tuition. Deadline for applicants is May 1st, with decisions expected at the start of June. For the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now. I'm Corvell Pfeiffer.
Thanks a lot, Corvell. Well, students of the Judith P. Thompson Primary School were devastated when they arrived at the school to find their cherished backyard farm destroyed. Their carefully planted crops plucked from the soil and stolen overnight. What they didn't know, though, was that help was on the way. West Calix Forbes has a story.
For weeks, these eager young farmers had nourished their plants, watered them daily, and excitingly watched them grow. But their joy turned to heartbreak when they discovered the empty, uprooted beds where their vegetables once thrived.
It was last week Sunday night. When we came to school on Monday, we saw our crops were rooted and put on the bed. It was just dug up. They didn't steal it. They just dug it up and spread it out all over the garden. Like pick all the tomatoes and throw them all over the place.
Words of the tragic theft spread quickly, reaching the ears of the Ministry of Agriculture. Honorable Jomo Campbell felt compelled to act. With him, he also brought his friends from the Chinese embassy.
They were just about to reap some of their harvest, but some of our night farmers came in and helped themselves before the children can. And so, you know, it was a bit of a downer for them. And so we wanted to do something to boost their morale. And today being a celebration, you see them in their costumes for Commonwealth Day, we thought that we'll introduce the added surprise of bringing our friends here from the demonstration farm, represented by farmers from the Hunan province of the People's Republic of China, just to share some of their harvest with them and get some ideas as to how they can go about increasing the crops that they have here with them at this school.
The Chinese diplomat expressed the importance of agriculture for young minds, sharing how backyard farming teaches children valuable lessons in discipline, sustainability, and food security.
You know, in Chinese, we say when the kids thrive, the country thrives, is thriving. So I saw the future of Bahamas in them, and I also want them to, you know, I would encourage them to have a real taste of the life, and also to have, you know, more, keen interest in agriculture, because I do see that agriculture is so critical for any country.
What began as a story of loss and disappointment has now become a symbol of hope, resilience, and community. And as the students of Judith P. Thompson roll up their sleeve to replant their garden, they do so knowing that they are not alone and that their little hands are helping to build a stronger Bahamas. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Wes Calix Forbes.
Love it. When the kids thrive, the country thrives. Well, Colina Insurance is making a meaningful impact in the community, and just in time for the recognition of International Women's Day. The company today donated $10,000 to the Bahamas Crisis Center, reinforcing its commitment to health and wellness. Colina Director of Corporate Communications, Maxine Seymour, says the donation is just one of the many ways Colina supports the organization.
To mark the special occasion, we chose an organization who we know pours into the women of our nation. And so the Crisis Center was the obvious choice. And we wanted to be able to seed into what it is they do to help families who are in crisis.
Accepting on behalf of the Bahamas Crisis Center, its administrator, Cleopatra Christie.
This type of donation will go a long way in helping us spread the word, awareness, and continue with our mandate at the Bahamas Crisis Center.
The history of women, black women in particular, is characterized by struggle and oppression. But there's a silver lining, though, triumphant. These women are worthy of praise. And that was the goal of a Women's Day ceremony this morning on Clifton Heritage Park. Here's Danielle Dean.
Sacred Space is an artistic depiction of women centuries ago to now and the struggles they faced. Represented by the faceless sculptures carved out of casuarina trees are former female slaves like Charlotte DeVoe, Matilda Farquharson, and Chloe Willie Griffin.
If you look at them, you will notice that they are looking in different directions. They're not all facing one way. They're looking at the ocean, but in different directions. And why might that be? These women were brought here through the transatlantic trade in enslaved people, and they were constantly looking for home.
This synopsis coming from women's rights activist Alicia Wallace during a ceremony held at the Clifton Heritage Park site on Wednesday. Attending the event was Governor General Her Excellency the Most Honourable Dame Cynthia Pratt and first female voter Ruby Ann Darling, who are known for challenging the status quo, much like former slaves Kate Moss and Mary Prince.
These two ladies played a pivotal role in influencing British emancipation, and then that led to Bahamas emancipation.
While enslaved on the Moss plantation owned by Henry and Helen Moss, Kate refused to mend her owner's clothing. This very simple act of defiance led to unimaginable torture. She was shackled, repeatedly whipped, and even hot pepper rubbed into her eyes. She was then forced into field labor and flogged until she died.
It was these acts of necessary defiance that have earned Moss and Prince their place in sacred space, their sculptures to be erected in coming months. This month, women and their invaluable contributions to families, institutions, and the world at large continue to be celebrated. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Thanks a lot, Danielle. Well, still to come, guess what day it is? I said, guess what day it is? It's Hump Day Wednesday. And yes, it's time for Leno's Wealth Wise, so keep it locked.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
For more than 30 years, thousands have attended the annual Bahamas Bridal Show to enjoy a spectacular fashion show, fun and games, food and champagne, and $30,000 in prizes, including honeymoons. On Sunday, March 23rd at Grand Hyatt Bahamar, come see the reason the Bahamas Bridal Show is the ultimate experience for weddings and special events. Show tickets, $75. Call 421-9783 or visit bahamasevents.net.
Here's a beautiful shot of the beach at Clifton Pier Beach right here on New Providence. Our drone pilot, Neville Big Nev Smith, captured that shot while flying out there. Well, let's leave him to that and take our own flight down to Andros.
Residents in Red Bay's North Andros stand to benefit from infrastructural upgrades currently underway for docks and roads in that historic community. Red Bay is far removed from other towns and settlements on the island, and the upgrades are expected to significantly enhance community life while boosting investment.
This dock behind me, it's definitely between 30 and 40 feet. A 30 and 40 foot boat will be able to fit there. Time frame on completion, we're looking at the next few months. 2 or 3, give or take. A lot of people will always say, I love Andros. Andros is beautiful. I don't have nowhere to put my boat. In a few months, put your boat right there.
Dean indicated that upgrades to the roads in Red Bay are also nearing completion.
The left side of the road coming from the east is completed, and is maybe another 2.5 miles. That's unfinished, but now people can come into Red Bays. Teachers who teach in Red Bays and don't live in Red Bays, they don't have a problem getting here. church buses, for pastoral anniversaries, any festivals, anything that's happening in Red Bays right now, there is no excuse. Anyone who's from Red Bays that doesn't live in Andros, come home. Come see what's happening in Red Bays.
Marlena?
Thanks, LaDawn. Well, are you buying or selling a home in 2025? The real estate market is evolving, and understanding the key factors at play could save you thousands of dollars. Tonight, we break down what buyers and sellers need to know with expert insights from those at Leno.
The housing market in 2025 is shaped by key economic trends, rising interest rates, inflation, and the growing demand for affordable housing. Sales agent at Leno Realty, Tara Nottage, says understanding these factors is crucial for both buyers and sellers.
The key factors influencing home prices in 2025 is really the cost of construction as well as the availability for homes. Right now, buyers and sellers still should approach this market with a sense of enthusiasm because at the end of the day, this is a big step for you and your family, but also with a sense of understanding that the process right now can be long, but it is a worthy goal to work towards.
But mistakes in the real estate process can cost you. Nottage warns that common errors include overpricing homes, making big purchases during the buying process, and failing to get pre-approved for a mortgage.
The biggest mistakes buyers can make right now is, first of all, not being pre-qualified first. The first thing you should do is speak with your bank, let them know what your standings are, what you're able to look for. The next thing is, a bigger mistake that I've seen persons make in recent years is making big purchases, and more so financing big purchases whilst they're waiting or in the process of being qualified for their home. That's some of the biggest mistakes people can make right now.
With many homes receiving multiple offers, the competition is fierce. She says sellers should focus on strong financing and flexible terms, while buyers need to act fast but wisely.
A good deal is relative to your dreams and your aspirations. Let's be honest, a lemon you can get at a really good deal, but a lemon is still a lemon. You have to know what you're looking for, what you're working for, and then base your ideas and plans around that.
Whether you're buying or selling, preparation is key. Experts recommend working with trusted realtors, staying informed, and being ready to negotiate in this fast-moving market. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Diane Dorset.
It's always good to hear from our friends at Leno, but let's check in with Total Sports to see what's coming up.
The Bahamas and Panama going to penalties in night one of the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships. Find out who came out on top. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Candid Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service. We do armored service, we do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also vet people for employment. A live business hosted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my Nassau office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
Welcome to What's Trending. Join me, Jiminita Swain.
And me, The Bahama Beauty, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m.
Only on the ZNS Network.
Wednesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles. The Junkanoo Boys opening up competition last night at the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships. They would take on Panama, and this one would go down to the wire. Here's a look at the highlights. The Malcolm Park National Beach Soccer Stadium, the host venue of day one of the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships. The Junkanoo Boys in the feature match of day one taking on Panama. Did not take long for the Bahamas to find the back of the net, just under 5 minutes past in the first period. Forward Crevin Ferguson, and what initially looked like a pass would manage to elude the Panamanian goalkeeper. The Bahamas striking first blood, taking an early 1-0 lead. To the second period, the Bahamas on the attack again. This time would Julmis eluding defenders to put the Bahamas up 2-0. It would look like the Junkanoo Boys would take a commanding lead in this one, but Panama not going down quietly. Shortly after, same period, Alfonso Mackenzie squeezing this one past Julio Jameson to get Panama on the board 2-1. Fast forward, just under 4 minutes to go in the third period. Panama with the numbers on the offensive. Mackenzie will find teammate Alberto Kelly, who will get this one past Michael Butler for the equalizer. Game tied at 2 with 3:30 to go. We had to extras, and a pivotal moment here. Referees calling a stoppage with 10 seconds to go. Veteran Leslie St. Fleur would have a chance to be the hero for the Bahamas on night one, but his attempt would go wide right. And with soccer, without a little bit of drama, to penalties we go. Bahamas up first. Wood Julmis finds the back of the net. 1-0 Junkanoo Boys before Panama's Rafael Garcia ties things up at 1 apiece. Teams would trade the next 2 goals before the Bahamas' fourth attempt is blocked. Panama with a chance to take a decisive edge, but the ball hits the crossbar. No goal. Still 3-3. Leslie St. Fleur up again with a chance at redemption, but unfortunately just a bit too strong, and it all would come down to one kick. Alfonso Mackenzie just out of the reach, out of Julio Jameson's hand, and the ultimate gut punch on night one. The Bahamas falling to Panama in penalties, 4-3.
It's just our biggest problem from years behind, just sticking to the game plan and putting away our chances. We came into the game knowing that we're going to create our chances, and we're going to cost us just finishing our chances. Panama had a few chances and they put it away. The referee gifted us a penalty in the last second. Unfortunately, we didn't put it away. We practiced those things. They always go in, but just didn't go in this time.
We learned from today. We regroup, keep the guys motivated, and the good thing is that in our group, both teams, there's only 2 teams with 1 point because penalties is 1 point. So if we win the next 2 games, we're through. So we control our own destiny. Now we just got to regroup and stay together, because I think we have a good team. We have a good group of guys.
Now, the Bahamas currently taking on the USA in their second game of the tournament. We'll have scores, sounds, and highlights for you in tomorrow's Sportscast. Let's look at your sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
It's time for your Access weather forecast, and that front boundary that brought in the cool temperatures has now exited the area, leaving behind an area of high pressure. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where we bulk up your business in the northwestern islands. Light and variable winds, flat seas, 1 to 3 feet high tide. That will take place at 7:53 tonight. And then for the central and southeastern islands, we'll have that northerly component at 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights at 2 to 4 feet. Tomorrow, Thursday, in the northwestern central islands, the winds will swing out of the southeast at 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights holding at 2 to 4 feet. High tide 8:12 in the morning with a low tide at 2:30 in the afternoon. And for the southeastern islands, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. And for all areas on Friday, the winds will be out of the southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Now your high tide, that will occur at 8:48 in the morning with a low tide at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Listen, from all the yellow From Jackfish to Killer Whale, I jump in my dinky boat and I head on down the coast. I need a fish to bite. My kids gotta eat tonight, so I do what they gotta.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Short. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. LaDawn and Melina.
Thanks a lot, Basil. I see temperatures have risen just a little bit. Melina, means spring is soon to come, right?
Well, it sure is. I mean, officially, I believe it starts next Thursday, March 20th. It's the spring equinox. That's the big day.
Yes, and that's good to know. But speaking of starting, let's start things up with Matea Cunningham and Let's Talk Socials.
Good Wednesday evening, audience. This is the one and only Let's Talk Socials, and I'm your host, Matea Cunningham. But you can call me Matea for short. Today, we're talking about a trend that has the world looking at the Bahamas. We're talking about the dapping up the tens trend. For those not a part of Gen Z, allow me to break it down. This trend features someone dapping up or hailing multiple people they consider attractive, or in other words, tens. Doris Johnson Senior High School students did their own version of the trend, featuring their class of 2025. The video currently holds a whopping 36.8 thousand likes and 390.6 thousand views. Enough of me blabbering, look at this. For some context, the students did this trend on their graduation photo day, not a traditional school day. This explains the allowance of phones, makeup, and grills. However, when the video hit global timelines, inclusive of other Caribbean countries, they had some concerns. A comment read, "Is the lineup with the white chalk and a wig with baby hair a part of the uniform?" Nonetheless, the video mostly received positive and uplifting responses. That's all for today. Thank you for tuning in. That was Let's Talk Socials.
And just like that, we've been given the wrap, Melina.
Well, time certainly went quickly tonight, LaDawn. Well, stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson.
Good night, everybody.